And we are live. Theme song.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah.
It's a new experience.
Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. You got a question
For RLN?
It's time to get some answers, baby. Oh, now we getting
Real.
It's time to get down. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good.
Time to get real. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, global happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, fitness instructor, mother. I am a mother, but you know what? Most importantly, a student, an ongoing student, always open to learning, to growing, to expanding awareness, to expanding consciousness. And when I say happiness, I'm not talking about, oh, something happens and now I'm happy. Oh, look at what happened. Oh, I'm happy now. I've got my car, I've got my life, I've got my partner, I've got my home, has nothing to do with that. The happiness I'm talking about is a foundational vibration, is a foundational energy, and it's rooted in peace and contentment, regardless of what happens, regardless of what the world throws at you. Peace and contentment and happiness, inner peace and contentment are all practice skills. And all I do on this show is share with you what to practice, share with you that it is the program behavior. And I'm up to 56 program behaviors that I have listed in my latest book. It's called Program for Unhappiness. The next book, well, there's the fourth book is going to be called Program Relationships, but Program for Unhappiness, it is on Amazon, Exposing the Untold Truth. 56 program behaviors. That's a lot of programming. And it is the programming that is causing the issue. It is the programming that is causing the suffering. You know, there is zero meaning to anything until the person puts a meaning on it. And I'm here to say that 98% of all of this meaning and all of this judgment, this perspective is all part of a program. And that is the culprit. It is the programming that is causing the issue. But even more than that, you are not your name, you're not your culture, you're not your race, you're not your age, you're not your titles, you're not your accomplishments. You are more than that. You are a physical being you are a human having a conscious experience. No, you are consciousness. Can I get this straight? You are consciousness having a human experience. You are presence. You are awareness. You are the highest source having a human experience. And that's it. All of this other belief that I'm all of the other belief that no, this is important. This is serious. I promise you one day you're going to wake up and say, it was just a dream. Oh, wow. If I only had known, it's just a dream. This is just an illusion. And while on this planet, while living this human experience, 98% of the population, which is an awful lot, 98% of this population is going to be governed, is going to be held captive, is going to be in a prison of the mind, because the mind, the mind, and it's not your mind, the mind has one function and one function only, is to have this human identify with it. You are not your mind. You are not your thoughts. You are not your stories. You are more than that. But you don't have to take my word for it. Let me give you a little bit of background. I've been teaching the Truth About Happiness classes for over 15 years in California, in Oregon, and now I'm in Nevada. And in these classes are students ranging from 60 in their 60s, 70s, 80s. I even have a woman who was one of the first Playboy bunnies. She's in her 90s, searching for, seeking, wanting to get more information about this thing called happiness. And I know it's a very, how do I say this? The topic itself is not really valued in today's world. No, what's valued is presents, awards, rings, medals, money, status, you name it. That's what's valued. But I'm here to tell you that eventually, and I really do believe this, I'm not going to say all, but the majority of people will get to a stage, will get to the end of their life, and contemplate, wow, what was really important? Wow, what regrets do I still have? And I'm telling you, one of my favorite quotes is, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. It is about what happens on the journey. How do I perceive what is happening on the journey? And the topic of today's show is the power of the present moment. Let me just go back. One of the biggest program behaviors is living in the past or living in the present moment, living in the past or living in the future. One of the biggest programmed behaviors is living in the past and or living in the future. Now, that doesn't apply to if you have to get on a plane or you have to have a nail appointment. I got my nails done last week. That doesn't apply to that, because appointments need to be made. However, this practice of living and staying in the present moment, I'm telling you right now, without any kind of without practicing not resisting the present moment, not resisting what is happening, not resisting what is unfolding, not resisting anything, is where peace is going to be found, is where peace lives, in the present moment. In fact, any trigger or any button that is pressed has to do with the past. In fact, this is a homework assignment that I gave to students. Here we go. List words that instantly trigger you. Anything that is triggering, know that it has something to do with some deep-seated programming. And anything that is triggering you is just a gift, a warning that, I need to look into this. I need to do more research. Why am I triggered? And the going back, and how about this? Well, let me just stay on this topic. Going back and figuring out the beginning of when does this trigger start? When did all of this happen? When did this annoyance, trigger button begin? It's just like going on a treasure hunt, discovering those little peas, those little rocks that are under the mattress, the smallest discovery can bring the biggest epiphany that is this why? Is this what's triggering? Is this what it? Let me just be a little bit more specific, because I'm all over the place now. Let me go to, oh, one of the things about one of the practices, I said happiness is a practice skill, contentment is a practice skill, inner peace is a practice skill. One of the practices is when I'm resisting, when the mind wants to resist anything in the present moment, guess what? The mind literally wants to take over. It's just like a country taking over another country. It's just like a more powerful country taking over another, or invading. There we go. Invading another country. This mind has been invading for so long, to the point where it's time to pull up the weeds. It's time to pull up the root. And when I say invasion, it is an invasion. The mind, the thoughts are not who you are. The present moment, when you are truly in the present moment, and you can feel it. Some people say, well, I'm in the zone. You can feel when you're in the present moment, because nothing else is coming across your radar. It's a zone in, it's a focus. It's just like any athlete. If they're playing sports, they're not thinking about price of gas. That present moment. And the more you can practice staying in the present moment, without anything else, without anything dropping in, the more you practice living and staying in the present moment, the fullness, the richness, the purpose, the savoring, the excitement, the stimulation. You can feel the difference in your body. You can feel the difference in your soul. You can feel the difference in the connection. Have you ever been in a place where you just automatically just burst out in tears, and there's no reason why? There's no real reason. You just overwhelmed with emotion, overwhelmed with connecting, overwhelmed with being aligned with the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it. It is an overwhelmed feeling, and there are no words to describe it. But it is an overwhelming sense. However, that's the present moment. That's where the steak tastes the juiciest. That's where I really like this probiotic, this kombucha. And oh my God, I just, when I'm drinking it, it just so, the taste is so, I don't say rich, but it's just, you can feel it. And that is the place to practice living. And I know the mind will take me out and take me into another place, either past or future. And especially in the past, which, wow, why didn't you plan that any better? I had a speaker at the class last week, and a guest speaker. And after it was over, and I already know what the mind is going to do. And I remember, say the mind, not my mind. I already know what the mind is going to do. And what this mind did was, oh, you could have timed that better. Oh, you didn't leave enough time for questions. Oh, this topic you forgot. In fact, there were a few topics that were forgotten. And the mind will constantly, I don't know about yours, but the mind will constantly go back and find fault with every moment when you allow it to do that. The mind is just like a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old. It will do whatever you allow it to do, including a takeover, including a personal takeover. And that means these are thoughts. My thoughts are me. These are stories. You know when it's the mind is when you only can manage to come up with one perspective. I know, talk about being stuck in one perspective. It is so limiting. And all I want to say, and all I'm here to do, is bring awareness to how much this mind limits. And I'm not talking about limits possibilities and limits achievements. I'm talking about limits your power. And your power, when I say power, I'm talking about a place that is peaceful. Even when you're moving and shaking, there is a peace, and peace is power. In fact, one of my favorite authors, his name is Dr. David Hawkins, 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 and one of his books is called Power versus Force. Great book, by the way. Power versus Force. And in that book, power is peace. Force, I get it. But the mind is into force. The mind is into the struggle. The mind is into conflict. The mind is into resisting. And when you recognize that and you practice separating yourself from the mind, guess what's going to happen? First of all, when you practice, the more you practice, the easier it's going to become. The more you practice, the practice is going to be a part of who you are. The practice, however, the awareness is the work, and the practice is the rooting like a tree. These people, here we go. Listen to this. 80, 70, 80 years old. You ready? In fact, yesterday I teach a fitness class. It's done in a chair to seniors that live in assisted living. They live in an assisted living facility. And this one woman, she loves to exercise. She must be at least 85, maybe late 80s. She loves to exercise. It's funny. You can tell when people are, when you're once an athlete, always an athlete. Anyway, her name is Teresa. And she's always there, right on time. In fact, she's there early. And yesterday, for some reason, no, it was 2 days ago. No, yesterday, for some reason, not a lot of people showed up for a variety of reasons. Maybe they have a doctor's appointment. Maybe the family's visiting. Who knows? So I'm easy with whoever shows up, whether it's one person or 0 people or 5 people. It doesn't matter. That's another thing. Numbers. This putting an importance to numbers, whether it's a bank account, whether it's friends, whether it's what the scale says, how much you weigh. Let go of being a slave to numbers. That's a practice. That's another program, but I digress. Teresa so it's just us, and then people started joining later. But listen to this. This woman who's in her late 80s, she kept asking me, where is everybody? Why aren't people joining the class? Are they just sitting in their rooms? Are they just sitting there watching TV? So now we're hearing judgments about other people. One of the biggest program behaviors, and I promise you, if you just practice this, it's going to be a big shift, is paying attention to, commenting on other people, what they're doing, why they're doing. And this woman in her 80s is so programmed to talk about other people and sitting in their rooms watching TV. She said it to me at least 8 times, at least. It was only a 30-minute class from the beginning to the end. And first I said, who cares, Teresa? Who cares what anybody else is doing? It's me and you. This is still going to be fun. She wouldn't let it go. Now, what is the purpose of this story? The purpose is when you're programmed, and if you're not recognizing it, and if you are not aware of it, guess what? It is just going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's a judgment of others, it's being in other people's business, and it's all the way till in the 80s. There's no contentment in that. There's no peace in that. There is no there is no energy of calm in that. I'm telling you, you either are going to get it now or you're going to get it later. I prefer now. I prefer as soon as possible. The point is the present moment is where all life lives. And when you practice, and there's a lot of different ways how to practice staying and living in the moment. And when you practice it, I promise you, it'll get easier and easier and easier. The second thing I want to share, the second thing I want to say is this is my favorite quote now. You are not experiencing life. You are experiencing your mind. You are not experiencing life. You are experiencing your mind. And it says your mind. And if you think, and if you believe that this mind is your identity, it's going to be very few moments of peace. I'm just saying. How much peace does your mind offer? Is it always suggesting? Is it suggesting things to practice to bring more peace? Or is it focused on more of what's wrong? I'm just saying, this mind is so powerful, and it is fed every day. I have one of my good friends. This guy is addicted to using the word. Here we go. These are some words that I don't use because there's an energy behind it. Addicted to using the word sad. Addicted to using the word unfortunately. Addicted to using the word should. How many of you out there are shoulders? Addicted to using the word mistake. I never use the word that, oh, that's sad. Oh, that's unfortunate. Do you feel it? And it's all it is about being aware and valuing peace and contentment. And I'm not talking about, because usually the rebuttal or the people come at me, well, you just head in the sand and you don't care about the world, and then don't you see what's going on in the world? Don't you see all the chaos and the evil and the commotion? And I promise you, I get it. But my contribution to this planet, my contribution to this world is my personal energy. Is my personal energy. One of the ladies at the gym this morning shared that her was it a nephew was rock climbing. Of course, here we go. We already know the story. Rock climbing, and then of course the equipment failed, and the kid has broken probably mostly all of the bones in his body. He lived, he survived, he's in the hospital. His legs are okay, but from the waist on up. So she's showing me this picture of him in the hospital with all these bandages on and head wrapped. And I said, and she had this energy of, oh, this would happen. So all the family and the Facebook people, and we're praying, and we're sending him, we're fasting and we're praying. And I said, you know what's going to be I usually don't interject. I usually, when I'm out and about, I'm off duty, but I was inspired to say that you know what's going to be the best, one of the best things for this gentleman that just broke all the bones in his body from the waist up is to send him positive energy that focusing on, concentrating on being grateful that you are still here, being grateful for all the bones that weren't broken. In other words, being grateful. It's this, oh, now what do we do? You can feel the difference. You can feel the difference between this worried fear energy. Oh, I wonder, I hope he's okay. Then, hey, wow, how fortunate are you? Let's focus on what we can do as opposed to what we can't do. That is a contribution. But the majority of the people on this planet are programmed for unhappiness, programmed to worry, programmed to look at the future, programmed to judge good, bad, programmed. And when you're living in the present moment, when you are really in the present moment, and you are observing and you are in it, and I mean in it, there is no programming. There is none. It's just the experience. It's just living. I had one of the best mornings at the gym. I was in the moment. I was practicing being in the moment for most of the time I was there. And everyone is different. I say we are all as different as our fingerprints. Everyone is different, and everyone has different techniques to remain and stay in the present moment. Not only living in the present moment, but recognizing that you are not your mind. Your mind is a separate entity. Your mind is separate from who you really are. Your mind is separate. I'm not identifying with the mind. And when I do, and when Rebecca does, pop out and show herself, it is all on. It is all okay. Rebecca, what do you got? Oh, you want to say this? Oh, you want to resist that? In fact, let me just say that this is another one. One of Rebecca's preferences, and see, the mind has preferences. One of Rebecca's preferences, especially with business, she wants to get to the point. She wants the other person to get to the point. A business meeting, doesn't need to last over 5 minutes unless there's a lot to discuss. Rebecca is into quick, let's go. And her tax person is a talker. Loves to talk. When they were 26, when they were 30, when they were back in the day, when they went to school. And I'm telling you, Rebecca resisted having a conversation with this person for a week. In fact, she sent, listen to this, she sent emails and said, do you have any questions? What are your questions? I'll answer the questions. Well, why do I need to have a conversation with you? But guess what? That's Rebecca resisting. And what the universe, God, source, higher power, what the universe wanted to teach me, show me, that you sit there and you listen and be patient, because that is the only way. That is the only way to transcend what the mind says it doesn't want. What the mind says it doesn't want to experience. What the mind says this moment is unwanted. The mind can be so powerful. In fact, the majority of people are governed, ruled, possessed, taken over by the mind. That's what causes all of the suffering, strife, wars, is the mind. Beliefs, all of this that's going on is just a big world of mind control. And when you can be controlled by the mind, you can be controlled by anything or anyone. That's one of the reasons why people are triggered. In fact, one of the homework assignments, you're triggered by a word, or you're triggered by a sentence, or you're triggered by a symbol. That's all mind. Because a 6-month-old, 1-year-old, 2-year-old is not going to be triggered by anything that you're triggered by now. So know that all these triggers have been programmed in. And if you do want to experience more happiness, and if you do want to experience more peace, and if you do want to have a vibration of contentment, the mind cannot be a part of any of that. It's not an easy assignment. It's not an easy practice. But I'm telling you, awareness and aligning with the universe and practicing living and staying in the present moment, there is nothing else to want. There is nothing else to desire. What? There are always things to desire. Yeah, I want. And what? No desires, no wants other than what is coming into my life. What if and because the mind has wants and the mind has desires, but what if God wants something else? What if God has another plan? What if God has another path than what this mind has? You follow me? What if God has another plan other than what the mind? Number one, who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win that arm wrestle? God always wins. The universe always wins. Source always wins. Source has to sign off on all of it. That's why when these people say, well, I'm blocking my good, I'm blocking. You're not blocking. God can't be blocked. Blocked. No such thing. No such thing. So the practice, this practice, is to every morning, every day, every moment of every day, be open to all possibilities, be open to the magic of this journey, be open to all of the the synchronicity of the and when I practice letting go, okay, take over. And I'm talking about as soon as I wake up till the time I go to sleep, take over. It is a life of, I didn't say miracles, that's not the right word. It is a life of ease, of peace, of shoulders. I have not been so, I'm 70 years old now. Don't tell anybody. 70 years old. And the peace that is, it's beyond description. And what am I doing? I'm not doing anything other than following inspiration. Oh, okay. You want me to finish this topic? You want me to finish a chapter? Okay, I'll do that. You want me to sit down and watch a TV all day? Okay, I can do that. Whatever the inspiration is, whatever the inspiration in the hold on. Whatever the inspiration is in the moment is exactly what I'm going to do. And I refuse, and when I say I am talking about, I refuse to let this mind take over and give me any kind of play-by-play or any kind of, that could have been. Peep it out. Check it out for yourself. How much does the mind have you held captive? And how much is the mind offering you peace? Check it out. I just want to list the words that, when heard, instantly trigger you. One of the answers to this homework question is, of course, the current president, the current president. And let me say something about this. It doesn't matter who's the president. It doesn't matter. If you have people or you have words that can trigger you to the point of, you just might as well accept that you are a walking, talking, breathing robot. If you can be triggered by a word, by a symbol, by a person, you are a robot. With all respect, no offense, a robot. I refuse to be a robot. And I know the robotic behaviors that Rebecca just instantly does or goes into, and I'm done with it. I'm checking this mind every corner, every turn. It's done. The present moment is where it's at. The present moment is where all peace is found. The present moment is a practice. I'm not talking about yesterday. I'm not talking about tomorrow. Unless I have to, appointment. I have to unless I have to schedule a show. I'm not talking about anything other than scratch all of that, because I do have a lot of conversations about bullshit. I do have a lot of conversation about the weather, about the price of gas. Let me say this. I listen to conversations like that. I listen. I don't engage. Either you value peace or you don't. Either you value the energy of contentment or you don't. And I'm saying, keep you, either you're on the hamster wheel or you're on the wheel of peace. Be the example. Practice being the example of peace and contentment. Gift the world that. Here we go. Let me go back to these questions. 3 circumstances that have the ability, this is the question. List 3 circumstances that have the ability to instantly trigger you. Isn't this interesting that one of the answers is negative attitudes? Isn't that the person that said they hate the current president? It doesn't matter what side you're on either. This is neutral. Wasting food. Marketing for profit alone. How many judgments is that? There's no happiness when the responses are like this. Wow. Again, know that you are not experiencing life. You are experiencing the mind. You are experiencing this life through the mind. Question it. Question it. Ask. Give me another perspective. I demand another perspective. And watch your mind go silent. Because it just can't. I don't even know if I covered all the topics today, but let's see. I just want to check this out. There's other homework that I got. List 3 expectations. Oh, this is good. List 3 expectations you have of yourself. Here we go. After making mistakes, to not dwell on it, but to move on. That's a real program behavior. And the practice is rejoice quickly, recover quickly. After making a mistake, again, we said on this show, I don't use the word mistake. After making a mistake, not to dwell on it, but to move on. That's a very common programmed behavior. Here we go. Other expectations. To realize that I will not be liked by everyone. That's a big one. This wanting to be liked, wanting to be loved, wanting to be accepted, wanting to be treated a certain way. All of that, you know what the issue, you know what the problem with all of that is? It's an external. It has something to do with something outside of yourself. Outside of yourself. The expectations you have of yourself, to accept good and bad days equally. There's no such thing as a good day or a bad day. It's just a day without a judgment. You see how programmed everyone is to accept a good day and a bad day. What if I said there's no good day, there's no bad day, it's just a day? Can you feel the peace with that? It's just a day without judgments. Here we go. If applicable, I can do that. Let me do it one more time. If applicable, list 3 expectations you have of your significant other. Woo! If you don't have a significant other, what expectations would you have? Here we go. Answer. I do not have a significant other. To accept others as they are. That's it. The only reason why people have issues in their relationships, whether it's family or whether it's friends or whether it's a partner, whether it's a neighbor, is lack of acceptance. Lack of acceptance of the other person. Lack of acceptance. And the answer is to accept others the way they are. And you know what? You can only accept someone else the way they are when you start accepting yourself the way you are. When you let go and start accepting self. Because when you're judging others, you starts right with you first. To take care of oneself as I age. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. I know it's a cliche, but I follow it. And here we go. What's evil? You see how the judgments just keep people stuck in the programming? List 3 expectations you have for the people you label friends. To accept me, good and bad. There is no good and bad. It just is. Who said it's good or bad? It's the programming. To be, in fact, I love that. Most people, program people, it's a good day, it's a bad day. Oh, I had a good day. What are you doing? It's just a day without a judgment. 3 expectations you have for other people. To be these in good times and bad. This is a running theme. Good and bad. And if this gentleman, and he's in his 70s, if this gentleman could just practice letting go of this is good and this is bad, can you imagine how much more peace, happiness, contentment he's going to feel? Good and bad. But you know what? These sayings and these programs are just addictions. They act just like addictions. Addicted to saying good and bad. Addicted. I remember one woman told me, I'm addicted to saying the word sad. That's an addiction. You can't stop saying it. You can't stop saying good or bad. It's tough. This programming is deep. A 2-way proposition. Listen and be with them too. One sentence. Oh, this is a good question. In one sentence, who are you? I am an imperfect human being who lives each day the best way I can. Imperfect. You're not imperfect. And the more you believe that you're imperfect, guess what? The more you're going to act like you're imperfect. No such thing. Is there any imperfect animal out there in nature? Is there any imperfect? Now there is a program. Now you are a program person, but you're not imperfect. There's a big difference. Wow, what a show. What time is it? It's time to get out of here. So wrapping everything up. The programming is to practice living in the present moment. The present moment is the real. Even though this is all this is all a dream that we're experiencing, the present moment is where the fruit is the juiciest, where life is the juiciest. The present moment is where life is the juiciest. That's the end of today's show. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My website is RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on X at RL Norrington. I'm on LinkedIn. My Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. And my YouTube channel, like and subscribe. First book, Reality Spirituality, was published in 2014. Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, it's on Amazon. However, my latest book, is called Programmed for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. This is on Amazon. It is an international and also best-selling author on Amazon. Until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. You are conscious energy, which is always evolving, always changing, and always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, happiness specialist, global happiness specialist, Rebecca L. Norrington. Remember, happiness, inner peace, contentment are all practice skills. And I promise you, the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find. Your experience in every moment on this journey depends on what you practice. Have a conscious week. Have a conscious, aware week. Live inspired. Maybe I don't have to do the song. Yeah, I'm going to stop doing the song at the end of the show next week. I'm going to stop doing the song at the end of the show. Maybe not. Feel good now. Later, alligators.